Alrighty, tape is rolling, boys and girls.
Lies, I'm telling you.
Less than a minute, a little over a minute to radio.
I should be able to make it. I don't know how long I'm going to stay.
I think it's actually playing 4 octaves. I don't know. I have to count the fucking notes. See.
Do re mi fa sol la ti do. And we are clicking start buttons now.
Crap.
Stop playing with the buttons.
Push
the big red one.
The big red one.
Alrighty, quiet on the set, boys and girls.
Quiet, I'll give you quiet.
I love our version of quiet.
Yeah, right.
You're listening to WRFB, Radio Free Britannia. In no other better frickin' place in the world than Deltona, Florida. Here you are, lunch, with no other than the dynamic duo, Laz and Jack.
And greetings, everybody. This is Laz.
And this is Jack. Welcome to another edition of Lunch with Laz and Jack, where we interpret the news so you don't have to.
That's right.
Right here
In
in Shroud of the Avatar.
Brand the news right here from inside Shroud of the Avatar. 5 days a week. I know they get tired of hearing that, but we gotta let you know that we're here every Monday through Friday for your listening pleasure and entertainment here inside
With
Shroud
some
of the Avatar.
exceptions.
With what?
With some exceptions.
With some exceptions, yes. Yeah, when IRL kicks in, we got to give that precedent. That doesn't happen too often, though. You haven't taken a trip to Hawaii in quite some time, so yeah. And I haven't taken any trips to the hospital anytime recently, so we've been doing good, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be something that's going to be happening. I mean, near future.
Yeah.
Got to wait for my house to sell, and then after that, maybe vacation.
For everybody who pays attention to what goes on screen around here, let's start with the top of the news. Let's not forget today's community live stream coming up on Twitch at 4 o'clock on the Shroud of the Avatar channel. You'll see Beric doing his thing. You're going to be getting a preview of the Village Inn, I believe is what today's topic is.
Yeah, the Village Inn, and if you look at that picture, it is a 4-story monstrosity. Although, if we're like in Europe, I think they would refer to that as 3 stories. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't taken a look quite yet, and I'm going to be tuning in later on today to check it out.
It's a rectangle. It's a box.
It's a village.
We don't know how many rooms are going to be inside of the inn. We just know what it basically looks like. So it is going to be a big box, and I wonder if the bottom floor is going to be like a bar area.
I don't know. I'm thinking back to the old UO when you went to the inn. It had a little downstairs. It had a couple rooms off to the one side. Then you went up the stairs, and it had the hallway of rooms. You know, that's what I'm envisioning. And
yeah, I mean, that thing was only 2 stories. I mean, that inn in Brittany was awesome.
We're talking.
This one's going to be 4 stories. And hey, if they ever get room rentals set up, that'll be even better.
Well, apparently it's tied in and it's coming, and it's tied into the mail system from what I've heard through the grapevine.
What?
Rentals
is tied into mail?
That's my understanding at this.
That's going to be a little weird.
Yes, Eagle, how you doing out there? Thanks for joining us. So you got in contact with the folks at your local postal service, and you've been in touch. They've got your package. Is that what you're telling me? Keeping my fingers crossed.
So maybe he'll have his. He's waiting on his NBNN package because he is a Patreon.
Actually, he's had several orders, and he ordered something for his son, and we've had a little difficulty getting it to the new address. So,
you gotta love international shipping. I mean, that kills everything. International
luckily,
shipping.
we were able to resend it without a problem and get it back over to him. And again, I'm just. I got confirmation we sent it express with tracking this time, and I see it was sitting there, and so I just want to make sure he's getting his hats and his swag that he ordered, and of course the little extra goodie I throw in there.
Oh yeah, you gotta love the extra goodies.
Gotta love.
But don't forget, everybody. If you want to become a Patreon of NBNN, you just go to patreon.com/NBNN.
That's right.
And then from there, if you support the channel for a few months in a row, then after that, Laz sends you pretty things.
That's right. And of course, for as little as $1 a month, you get access to all our past podcasts. You get access to some some Discord digital unlock special titles. And of course, as the donation goes up, the goodies go up. Everything from bumper stickers to personalized hats and T-shirts. Just sent out a pair of personalized coffee mugs. To a couple that we know, Jade and Onyx. And I'll actually tell you all. I don't know if they listen or not, but I sent them a pair of coffee mugs, and of course, Jade's was in a green inside and handle, and Onyx's had a black inside and black handle.
Nice,
so they can
nice job,
with their names.
Hopefully, they don't get.
In runic under the NBNN I love this shit runic logo. So they also had their names in runic on their coffee mug. So you get all sorts of good stuff like that. And personalized just for you, which makes it
he did not ship the coffee because Led Zepp. He didn't want to send them Led Zepp's coffee.
Yeah, because I want to make sure that I didn't get the wrong coffee mix in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Led Zepp put some extra special stuff in his coffee.
Something in there.
But anyway, before we get started, if you want to come join us, you can go to nbnn.info. Use the Discord app right there on the website. Come on in and chat with us. Ask questions. Get involved in the daily discussion and shenanigans around here. Or you can
the pre-show discussion was awesome.
Well, the pre-show discussion, pre-show discussion was really great. Is when you wanted to get into manscaping and how does one do certain things in manscaping, and Jack got more answers than he ever assumed he would ever get from the people in this room. I don't think you can't handle the truth. That's what it comes down to.
It was funny. It was funny. That's all that matters. And everybody that was not in the channel missed it. They could have laughed hysterically at both Laz, myself, Led Zepp.
Apparently, Led Zepp was literally in the bathroom or getting coffee when we were talking about that.
Something like that, yeah.
But anyway, it is Friday, May 12th here inside Shroud Avatar. We missed that at the top of the show. And being Friday, we have all sorts of great stuff. We got your weekend roundup. let you know what's going on throughout the weekend here in Shrouded Avatar. Do not forget, we are in the midst of 3 weeks of free play, free trial for 3 weeks, going right through the end of the month. And that means that those new visitors will get to actually go through a whole cycle and a release, or the end of this cycle and the release. So
yeah, they get to experience the patches immediately after a release, which is going to be kind of funny.
Oh yeah,
it's like yeah, that's going to be funny, and
that's going to be some interesting feedback. That's all I got to say.
Oh, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Patches.
It's like, what is
this weekend? And we got to do that every
3 patches today. It's like, what is this? Okay, so we also have
life.
Yeah, patches. Get used to it. The good thing is that it is active development, and by active, I mean active.
Very active.
They're always
why
doing
we're
things
here
and always
to tell
making
you what's
changes.
going on day in and day out down at the offices. Keep you up to date with the scuttlebutt going on in the community, what people feel,
You mean
what
like
people don't feel.
The scuttlebutt of what's happening on the stand-up corner?
Yeah, or the scuttlebutt of what's happening on Chris's blog, even more importantly.
Well, yeah. Well, I told you about that
Suck
before.
it, flamers.
Yeah.
We'll get to that shortly, folks.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so we do have stand-up corner for everybody. Don't forget, stand-up corner is where they say, hey, I worked on this yesterday, I'm working on this today. Something random gets written down, eventually gets posted to the forums, and then we get to interpret it so you don't have to.
That's right. So you don't have to weed through all the insinuation there and try and figure out what they're actually
all the innuendo
talking about. That's right.
Yes.
We include
so this
that
is
for
the
free.
This is the stand-up corner from Thirsty Thursday.
Thursday.
Over in the art department, Bob the Builder.
Death Bunny Bob.
Working on furniture and player homes, Damon. Working on Healing Ray. And
well, what about
I want to touch
me?
you where it feels
Ray.
good. Healing touch. He's got this soft hands.
Okay. He's got the
soft
touch.
hands. Yeah. It involves a very, very sensual massage with lots of oils.
You got to make sure it's nice and smoothly shaved, though.
It's not like slap you in the forehead. You're healed. Slap. You're healed. Slap.
Shave around the ring.
I shall. I shall heal all of your pain. Let me see your pinky.
That better?
Fletcher.
Fletch lives. Let me kiss the boo-boo, make it feel better.
Working on clothing and sequana and bugs.
Bug.
Kevin. Working on the Oracle and wounded soldiers and pets. The almighty Gix Vargach Matt.
QU?
Yeah, for something. Wait, hold on. I need another note.
I don't know what you're up to these days, I tell you. While we wait, as Jack starts.
I'm getting a message. Waxing is so much better than shaving. I don't know what.
Shit.
I don't know who.
Bullshit if you're a masochist.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I'm sorry to say, but I just think pain. Kevin.
Kevin.
Oh, wait, I already did it. Already did that. So Gix Vargach was working on the weapon pivots and death from fire.
Death from fire. Yes. He's concocting many new ways to make your avatar suffer a flaming death.
Makes him a concoctor.
Come on now. We ain't got all day. This is Friday. We got things to do after the show.
He's writing that.
He's sitting there trying to be funny. You know, come on. You want to be funny? Come on.
Cue cards.
We can't read that.
Cue post-its.
I'm sorry. Can't
Mr.
read
Q,
that.
you bastard. Mr.
Okay.
Q, you bastard. He's working on moon dials and bugs and plot
Bug.
items. Pain for a second, smooth for a month.
See,
I don't think
you,
that's
you
pain
think
for a
that
second.
there's actually a queue. See, the idea is to throw it in. There's certain things that will go, like bug, and if I miss it, you can chastise me. But certain times I just give you the pause because it's funny.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Where's our cow?
Over in design, Beezus
The bees.
working on creature skills.
Bzzz. He's shaving something over there.
Well, I don't know what you're doing. Seawolf.
Sea wolf. Dude, I'm telling you, nobody can read that.
Working on the... Hey, cut your pipe.
All you get is this big gray blotch in your screen when you're doing that. So
Yeah.
you don't have the proper lighting in your new studio to be pulling that off right
what
now.
are you talking about? What lighting? What lighting?
Pregnant pause.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
one light that's in this room. Don't have any additional lighting.
You mean the
we're-
light shining off the top of that waxy spot on the top of your shiny head there? That light? Yeah.
You get the monitor reflection
Monitor
of my
reflection off the
glasses.
glasses. Oh man, now the screen
Yeah,
went
so,
black.
so that way Scrota's like going, man, your eyes are always so black on your stream. It's like, no, they're blue.
see.
You have no soul.
Scrota's looking in your
I
glasses
have
trying
no
to see what kind of porn you're watching on the other monitor. That's what he's doing.
Well, that too. I mean, that is what makes
Look at the
life
reflection
interesting.
in the glasses.
So where was I? Seawolf's working on High Veil's upskirt spawning and NPCs and loot.
There's a request in game chat for you.
What the fuck? Can you craft us a glory hole in the toilet?
Is that
Bastard.
That would be hilarious.
Sick, twisted mother. Yeah.
I need to move the
Your
the,
adoring fans are
houses
asking you
closest
to,
together.
enhance their experience out there. So
Yeah,
Love
they
to call the
needed
contractor.
some additions. Yeah.
There's a contractor for that? Shit. Why didn't you tell me?
Hey,
call the
it's
Deco
done
Divas.
right.
Maybe they can help.
Yeah.
Oh, test it out too, huh?
The Deco Divas can screw in the
Hey, now.
the hole.
Let's test this thing.
Okay. So Scotty is working on moon dials and bugs
Bug.
and plot items. Wait, I already did that. Where the hell am I? Dan the man.
Dan the man, Brennan.
Working on player towns and design support and Oracle Colossus puzzles. Lum the mad.
You're
Asking
all
for
over
the
the place.
extra. What did I miss?
I don't know. I'm looking
What
at the
I
same thing here.
We keep on getting off track. It's like, where the fuck am I supposed to be?
You went from Dan to
Well,
Lon- okay, never
it's
mind.
like I went back up to Scotty, but then I realized we've already done Beezus, we've already done Seawolf, we did Damien, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you missed Damien
But-
altogether, I thought, but never.
But
mind. Moving right
but
along.
but
It's
at the same
Friday.
time, I can just plug him in. I mean, like it really matters.
We're just having too much fun today, I tell you.
Yeah.
This should be illegal.
So should I do the full Brazilian or not? That's the real
Yeah,
question.
well, yeah.
How much wax you got? Much
None.
wax. What?
I don't need wax.
Oh,
You don't need no
working-
stinking wax,
Yeah.
man.
I got neck down alopecia. I don't need no wax.
no stinking wax.
Can't you
Exactly.
just use some Nair?
Shit.
Yeah, leave that on for a little bit too long. It burns like hell.
He's screaming like a mother.
May or may not be speaking from experience there, but
Right.
yeah, that
Wax
shit
on,
burns like hell
wax
if you leave it
off.
on too long.
Spray on, right?
Yeah. On the mad working on asking permission from Lord British for puzzles and the Path of the Oracle and localization.
Woohoo! Got some updates on that too.
Yeah, Damien hanging out and working on High Veil tutorials and Blood River tutorials. Pretty soon we'll actually have some tutorials.
Be nice.
I know, it's like maybe the game will teach our new players how to harvest items at the very beginning. Why it's not always a good thing to loot everything.
Led
Oh wait, they
Zepp's out
changed
back
that.
taking measurements right now.
Oh, he
Right
is.
up against the.
Looks like it's already in use.
What the hell's going on there? Get the knife out here. Let me get my
What's
knife.
he doing?
Chop that motherfucker.
He just found out that the wood is
Close
too
the door.
thick. It doesn't work.
I think there's a size issue here. Maybe the wood's too thick.
The wood's too thick. It don't fit through. That's right.
Yeah.
Open the door
Then after-
again. Open the door.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's small shit.
Grovel.
Yeah, get it.
He couldn't get it up. He couldn't get the stick up. Then after that, Sorcerer Steve working on Blood River's upskirt creatures. I mean, he's trying to find the crabs and the sound effects and visual effects for Bloody Rivers.
Blood River.
The Energy Vortex himself, List Rostov, working on bugs
Bug.
and Blood Bay puzzles. Over in tech, Bobby
Damn it, Bobby.
working on audio bugs
Bug.
and public stats.
Yes, public stats. Give us more public stats, Bobby.
Lazarus Long died 175 times to
List Rostov died how many times?
49. But he said he was testing the fall.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
testing, exploring, dying, same difference. Yeah.
Noob.
Yeah, it's all the same. Eric working on the alert AI behaviors and leashed jumps polish.
Are they gonna just hang there when they're leash jumping?
I don't know. It's like Led Zepp, how do you jump with a leash on?
Very carefully.
I don't know. I'm into that shit. I don't know what he's doing.
You're the only one around here that I know that wears a leash, so I just had to ask you.
I have no idea.
JY
Not to be confused.
working on with KY working on agriculture storage bugs.
Bug.
The Deathbringer, one and only, working on Unity 5.6 user interface updates. Finally, user interface updates.
Yes.
Then Taslo working on security updates and build process and migrations.
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 Working on migration.
La migra.
Aros mío. Aros mío.
La migrations.
Tigra. Chingale. Vámonos.
Oye.
Yo.
Oye,
It's
mijo.
not a gang.
Oye,
It's a
pobrecito.
club.
I've seen that shit in action before.
You live out there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different time though.
Yeah.
Keep running. They got horses and shit tracking them down. Aros míos. Ay, chingale. Brutal back in the day.
I'm sorry to say, but I can't fault them.
No.
Yeah, I'd run too. Shit. Fucking horsemen after me.
Moving right along.
Useless overhead. We have NFG Andrea
NFG.
working on the QA forums and regression and localization.
Throw her right to the wolves.
Yeah, the Dippy Bird.
A bird.
Working on meetings and general business and Unity 5.6. Gorn
5.6. 5.6.
working on trying out a new Speedo
What? He's not wearing
named
red
General
anymore?
Business.
Ooh, business.
And maybe he's going for the polka dots. I don't know.
Itsy bitsy
Barrick
yellow polka dot bikini.
Yeah, Barrick is working on promotions and community and articles and lead support and trying to figure out how do you actually sign up for the free trial.
Free trial.
Yeah, Hutch is working on player homes and art tech support and asset support and the Oracle. Lord British, he's decided that he wanted to be general business.
He's helping Gorn out this week.
Yes, Chaos working on customer service and decorations and support, security and instruments and music. Music, 15
Nice.
meters. 15 meters. That's all I got to say. And database offers. Serafina working on sanity testing and customer service.
Yeah, wonderful customer service.
And regression. And reward planning. Maybe somebody might get a reward eventually.
Maybe.
And the Dork Star working on general business and the weekly update.
Yes, weekly update should be out this afternoon, giving us all sorts of news stuff that's coming out. And a couple things to touch on in here. Let me pull back and look at that real quick. Which was the one that I wanted to touch on? Oh, the localization. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Browncoat Jason out there for asking the pertinent questions. Were the folks out at Black Sun going to be starting a new server or not? And according to Lord British, the answer is no. Everybody's still going to be using the one server.
Oh.
So, yes. Will Black Sun be helping with localization? Yes. So that's going to help speed up localization. It's going to help
that'll help speed up the Russian localization.
Well, that'll help speed up several localizations over on that side of the world, actually, wouldn't it? Again, I was commenting yesterday, the day
before. If you look at the languages that they're working on localization for, then not many people in the Baltics really speak Spanish or Italian.
Well, Portuguese, most do.
Or Portuguese. What? Not in the Baltics.
Well, I'm telling you, when I was in Europe, and of course I was in Germany, I wasn't in the Baltics, but in Europe,
Germany's completely different.
Yeah. Well,
in the Baltics, a lot of them speak German.
Portuguese.
Or someone.
Most of the foreigners I met from all different countries spoke several different languages. Us Americans were the only ones who only spoke one freaking language. Yeah,
and poorly at that,
and not very well. That's right, absolutely. And again, most. I mean, I run into the guys here. I got a couple of Russian guys here. They speak Russian. They speak English. Some may. I'm just saying.
And they probably speak some other languages as well.
Well, hello, isn't that what I just said? And didn't you just argue with me against that point?
Hey. I'm just saying that
ladies.
Well, okay. So the dominant languages in Western Europe are going to be French, German, English, then Spanish, not Portuguese.
Hey.
Hey.
And I would think Italian would come in before any of the other ones as well. But anyway. Moving right along, we're not here for world politics. Well, yes, we are, but Shroud of the Avatar world politics.
Hey, it's been a few years since I was in Europe.
Yeah, well.
In the Irish, they speak Irish poorly. they love sending their kids.
What do you say?
They love sending their kids to Irish schools to learn Irish, which is awesome.
You got to be like Cheech Marin, man. You got to go to night school and take Spanish and get a B.
Yeah. Because, it's hilarious because they love it whenever like Americans come around because it gives them the opportunity to speak in English instead of Irish.
Son of a bitch, shit.
Oh, and Justin saying, move it. It's time to move.
Moo. Where's our count today?
Yeah. Yep. Which means it's time for us to talk about Chris's work blog or do you want to do Lums first?
No,
Lumber Chris.
Gotta go with
Chris. See what he's doing now.
Let's give him all the bad news first.
Yeah, let's see what Chris is doing
we
now.
can.
Okay.
Evil.
Bad news first. Chris's work blog. We have an update from today, which says, "Yay! I should be able to do real work today. Now on Unity 5.6 locally, and the issues were addressed." Now, you ready for some bad news? Ring of Fire is being fixed to a 5-meter radius.
Man.
Instead of a size that varies with skill level.
So that means it's going to be actually a ring around your feet if we know how the meter to size ratio actually works.
Well, okay, so
And they're adding it to the unlearn
we
list.
know music doesn't travel 15 meters, so I got to assume that.
Well, to provide that visualization for everybody on stream, the chairs between Lazarus and myself are approximately 6 meters apart because we're both on the edge of our properties, and there's a 5-meter alley.
That's
See,
right.
5-meter diameter or radius they're talking about.
He said
Radius,
5-meter radius. So
Holy moly.
that means that it will be a 5-meter.
So if you look where Led Zepp is standing,
Yes.
according to that,
We'll get both
Jack
of you
or I
guys,
would
that's it.
barely get burned. Well, no, we would both get singed. Yeah.
No. What that means is that it's going to. It would nearly be if you cast it, it would barely be touching. Like, I would be safe, but it would be right beside me.
Well, if that's 6 meters in between the two of us on the lines, and I
and
showed the
the
line
5 meters
on my
the
screen.
5 meter. The
There
5
it is
meter.
now.
Yeah, well, that's not
it's-
5
yeah.
meters. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
what, a good 20 something
But
meters.
you could say goodbye to that.
He's serious, man.
Yes.
And that's Emulation. That's not Ring of Fire.
You know how long it took me to get that high?
That's not
big?
Immolation. That's Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
That's
So
Ring of
I'm-
Fire.
Yeah, that's
I'm a
Ring of Fire.
GM and
Emulation's already small.
Immolation,
Ring of Fire.
he made a shield like that, which is
Yes.
now.
So
That's probably going to be about the size of your Ring of Fire now. If that's
yeah, the Ring of Fire is going to be that big.
So like I
just on
said,
the outside.
we would get singed. That's
It's-
probably a very, very good visual right there of what it's going to be cut down to. Now,
But
let's,
that doesn't factor in the fire reach skill, right? I mean, that's,
he's just telling
No,
you
it does.
there is going to be no more fire reach. You're not getting it. That's what he's telling you. That's what he's telling you.
Well, because if we continue on with what he says, he's adding Ring of Fire to the unlearn list.
Yes, Ring of Fire has been moved to a fixed 5-meter radius instead of a size that varies with skill level. So I'm going to assume that that skill is also going to get nerfed, the one that gives you range, because if he's going to be nerfing it on this one, that just tells me that that skill is going to become useless as well, and that skill should be added to the list.
I spent months getting a GM and Ring of
Suck
Fire.
it,
Getting
Flamers.
Fire
Yes,
reach.
you heard me earlier.
What?
First, yeah.
Suck it, Flamers.
Suck it,
Ridiculous, man.
Flamers. That's right.
Ridiculous.
So
It's on the unlearn list. All they want us to strip all or
basically, the more I'm seeing all these skills come together, and I'm watching one skill after the other off of all my lists come together, it's basically going to come down to we're all going to be spiff. We're all going to have to learn multiple schools, and we're going to have to learn multiple things because there just ain't no freaking way you can specialize anymore with all these nerfs going on. Sorry.
I'm just going to be a moon magic fairy and be done with it.
Telling you, I'm just going to live in Owl's Head, and I'm going to become the king of leather. Very simple. Leather and recall scrolls.
I'm going to be the king of teleports and recalls.
Yeah.
The king of Suede.
The king of travel.
You've got a lot of competition, brother.
Man, I spent hours and days on Ring of Fire and Fire Reach.
Hey,
Right,
you're preaching to the choir.
Hey,
here,
you don't
buddy.
like it? Unlearn it. You don't like it? Unlearn it. All right.
All right, all
You're
right.
preaching to the choir.
Hey, I'll tell you an obsidian
that's the
tome of
answer.
unlearning
Learn it.
to you, real cheap.
20,000 gold.
gold.
Try to get it high again. See what happens.
So,
Yeah.
there,
Okay, so
there
then
is
after-
your bad news for today.
Yeah. Then also, Chris, rebuilt materials for 500 plus speedweed objects as the format changes in Unity 5.6. Then he had to include the fact that he attended the stand-up meetings, and he updated some plugins for 5.6 support.
5.6.
Yeah, and 5.6, remember, is going to be a huge game changer. Out of the box, supposedly, Unity 5.6 has a 60% better performance rating, so we should see a lot of things significantly improved as far as game performance.
Heard, the general consensus is they're leaning towards, we haven't got confirmation yet, but all these 5.6
really, it's 43.
Well, again, I saw it coming up this release, possibly. And with all the updates I'm seeing on 5.6, possibly.
I don't see that it being possible for Unity 5.6 because the internal staff, we only have a couple of devs on Unity 5.6, and the bulk have not yet migrated over.
And that takes
as soon as we start see, it's a complete day of upgrading.
Yeah. So,
and then after that, they have to go bug check a lot of stuff. So
anyway,
because then they'll find out that Chris didn't find everything that really got broken.
Possibility, but no confirmation. Possibly.
43.
Possibly 42. Moving 44 right along.
Just for that.
Yeah, right. That's what happened too.
Okay, so Lum finally decided to update his work blog as well. So yesterday he decided to put on there that he decided to start working on the Path of the Oracle, specifically
redacted.
And then today he is working on kickoff meetings for Boreas and Sequana Colossus redesign, and the Path of the Oracle, specifically redacted, and initial meetings with the Oracle. Now, is he referring to the Oracle in the very first scene on the Isle of Wonders, whatever the hell they're going to call it?
I don't think so.
Thing in the sky?
Finals.
Or are they going to be...
Big. I don't know what I want to call it.
Well, yeah, so...
Big metal thing with lots of wires attached.
So the actual or the physical Oracle.
That would be my guess, since we saw the preview of what the Oracle was going to look like last week, and she, looked like one of those automatons hooked up to one of them transmission tuners at the auto mechanic.
She's got a bunch of tubes that need to be plugged in.
Well, Led Zeppelin would be willing to plug it right in for her, I'll tell you.
Well, and he'd have to try every single one of the sockets.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. He'll plug it right on in. That's right.
Like, that one's got a low current. Ooh, high current.
Ooh, just right.
Just right. Okay, so where are we going on from there, man?
We plug that into the USB port.
1.5 volts is just about right.
Let's change it up. Let's go ahead and end Friday with a couple of questions and a few good laughs. How about that?
Oh, a couple of questions. Okay,
well,
so
we've only got a minute or two because we do have the weekend calendar to go through. So not like we have a whole lot of time to go through all these.
Okay, so we do have the missed questions from the telethon. So don't forget, Star gives the most comprehensive answers on these to everyone.
Gotta love him.
Yeah, I know.
Gotta love him.
Jacko Bijan wants to know, can we have the ability to unsocket a weapon if it was done after enchanting, or at least changing attunement? What? Missed questions?
Different.
It's the first one, man.
Oh, I didn't hear that name properly then. Sorry.
Jacko Bijan.
Okay. Never mind.
How would you pronounce it?
I wouldn't. I would just say Jack up there wants...
jargon.
JK. We'll just call him Jacob Ijen.
Jacob Jan.
Bijan.
And Star would like to say that we can consider the ability to unsocket a weapon, but we will likely want to destroy the gem in the process.
Of course they will.
Yeah, what's the use of doing it then?
Yes. Governor Tempest asks, will there be a point when a town will be taken over when no avatars are there to save the day? Because Mighty
Maybe.
Mouse was not available. Maybe. And you know what? I want that maybe to become a reality.
You're out of scope. You're out of scope.
It's like out of scope of episode 1. It's like, seriously.
I would have
Do
liked
it.
to see the actual town
Do it.
come under siege, not a scene from the town. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Out of scope.
I mean, it's like we envisioned such a better process for
You know,
that.
like I can't
But-
get to my vendor because there's
assumed
some
that,
damn archers looting through my crap, and I want it back.
Or the archers hiding in a different building.
Just drop the ring
Then,
of fire.
I know, exactly. It's like, where's my ring of fire? Yeah. Rufus wants to know, would it be possible to configure entry points in a pot based on the location the avatar is traveling from?
No.
Yes, we have that tech in our backlog. We will eventually get to it.
No.
Rufus. What? If you're coming in from the east, you should go to the east entrance.
I'm sorry. Why did you give us options to configure the entrance of our town? Why do we have that if you're going to go blow that out of the freaking water?
That's the
Hey,
main
I still say
that a
that
long
if-
time ago. They said that.
Yeah.
He said it's
Hello.
possible.
I mean, why do I have the option to say this is the entrance to my town, but now you're going to go, nah, they can come in any way they feel.
What-
No.
what
They said
about
that a
a-
long time ago, though. They did say
Now,
that.
Laz, what about a player setting a default as make this my entry exit point for this player-owned town? Would you be for or against that?
I don't know. I just know that.
Because, imagine you live in a player-owned town, you know what's in the player-owned town, and you live right by an entrance that requires you to run all the way across the scene by the default entrance.
So,
But it's like, if you could set that entrance that's right next to your house as your entrance and exit from the town, that would be a lot more efficient for
Just make
you.
it to where whichever way you enter the town is the entrance you go in. Jeez.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
they were talking about doing a long time ago.
what's that, Rustic?
If you
Make
go in
the
from the
entrance-
north, you come in from the north. If you go in from the south, you come in from the south.
That's what Laz is all pissed off about.
Right, but see, the catch is
Oh,
I have an island that has a boat. Okay, so there is no coming in. I have an underground that, you know.
that means that you have to go through the fucking boat.
But I
and you're
understand that.
underground, you have to go through the tunnel.
Yeah, but the catch is, I don't know what direction I'm entering the town from. Now you're going to tell me that if I happen to hit it at that one little quarter of a fraction that puts me on the other side of the town. No, I'm sorry. I just don't
Yeah,
see
we're
it.
going to tell you that. We're
And
gonna tell you that.
God forbid one of you say,
Suck it.
well, what if you got a choice?
Suck it
God
down,
forbid I
Laz.
need another button to enter the town to begin with. I already got to click a button to enter the town. Now I'm going to have to click another one. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Suck it, town owners.
Aren't you the same guy that wants options?
Yes, but not
those
that
guys.
option. Sorry.
He wants his cake.
Those are the options we're talking about.
He wants his cake, but not his pie.
I'm sorry, it's another button. I don't see it. You know, I just spent the last
Well,
6
you're gonna
months
see it.
designing
You're gonna
my
see it,
town.
so
I'm not
shut up.
putting anybody
Shut up.
on other exits. Okay, so if they come into my town inadvertently because they're coming to visit and they come in from the north and all my stuff is in the south, they're gonna start complaining that where is everything in these towns because they don't understand that concept. And again,
Hey, for your island, boats only get to it generally from one place.
yes, that much
It's
I
called,
get.
it's called the docks.
Yeah.
Got a good point, Laz.
Killing
Too
me
bad
small.
it's on your head.
Yeah, I'll give you a point.
Right
in my
between
head.
your eyes. Yeah.
Open wide to say.
Rufus wants to know, can the town crier and banker in the grasslands template get some shelter? He feels sorry, and they'll consider that. Elfin Juan wants to know, can you please implement that private vendors that take their charge only after a successful trade and not when I enter the offer.
Gonna do it.
No, because then players will just use vendors for storage and laundering items or for gold farming.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Free vendor? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
You know, first off, there's a very tight 100 item limit on those vendors, so I don't see how that would be. And second, people are already putting items on those vendors for extreme amounts of money to keep people from buying them and storing them anyway. So I really don't see the point of this.
No, it doesn't make sense. Especially with the number of commission-free vendors that are out there.
I see it as keeping people from stocking the public vendors with crap. That's, but private vendors. Again, these are private vendors. This is my vendor. If I want to stock it with crap and do that stuff, I'll do what I want with it.
That's right.
But anyway.
Suck it, vendors.
Suck it, vendors.
How exactly are towns and housing being handled in single-player offline? And will the NPC towns be filled with empty slots or empty lots? Or they be filled with houses? If the latter, then will those houses be occupied, decorated? Will we be able to break and enter in other people's houses?
Oh, well, hold on. Absolutely, Catnip Games. By all means, please. I mean,
player-owned towns aren't going to exist in single-player offline.
But time out, and I got to stop you here. We've actually got Catnip Games on stream here, asking if we want the answers, and if we want him to come join us on stream and give us the answers because they actually make sense. That's what I said. Yeah. As again, remember, we interpret the news, Chris. So you got to understand, most of this isn't all that serious, okay? But yes.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Let's get some answers.
Pretty serious, man.
And enlighten us. Everybody would love to hear some answers to these questions and why they make sense. Absolutely.
Discord.me/NBNN and just join us in chat.
Come on in.
And then yell at us.
What did you say didn't make sense? I missed it.
What's that?
Never mind, I missed it.
I don't know. What the hell are we even talking about?
It's too long.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know which one he's commenting on, whether we're just talking about the entrances to the towns or whether it was
he's probably talking about the fire. Fire is what we've been talking about because that's what Chris is working on.
I mean, we've been picking on a couple different subjects over the last hour.
You know what? But while he's doing that, don't forget that we also have this one question that we'll get to until Chris joins us because there is that 30-second delay. They do not have the exact details for filling out all the NPC towns with housing, but they would like... but the plan is for the lots to have some buildings on them, much like most NPC towns start with, before players start claiming lots. Right now, they do not have plans to decorate them nor put NPCs in them for Episode 1 launch, but that might change.
Now, I think according to what he's saying, he missed the fire part that we were talking about earlier today. So I'm guessing he was listening in on the part about the entrances to the towns. Is that correct? And
we didn't even cover the earth part. We just covered the fire part with the change to Ring of Fire.
I can't take much more of this.
Funny.
Aren't you supposed to
well,
interpret all
for
of
this, if we got to go through chat, we're going to go ahead and preempt the calendar, unless you can come on into Discord.
Calendar can always be found on that NBNN app, which is available in all of your stores, the Google Play Store, the iPhone, iTunes Store, and the Amazon App Store.
Well, you know what we should do is probably make life easy and put an invite in there. What do you think?
Well, that's what I was typing in right now.
Oh, okay.
Discord.me/NBNN.
No, I'm giving them... Yeah, you're lame.
You
give them a link right into the room for crying out loud.
What the hell are you talking about? I mean, that one?
I already threw it in.
Why is yours different from mine?
Because mine is an invite to the server, that's why.
Mine's an invite to the voice chat.
Fine.
Moving right along.
You silly man.
That's right. If you want to access the NBNN Shrouded Avatar Community Calendar, go out to nbnn.info and get your hands on the NBNN app. What?
Hey, if you own a pot, don't forget that Sean guy wants to know, when can we expect a pot tools, features, and bugs fix pass? Quarter 3 or quarter 4?
Dark Star already answered that question. That's right. 3 or 4 is exactly the answer on that question.
Yep.
Star
3 or 4.
That. Yes.
Not in a long time.
Anytime soon. But yes, you can get the NBNN app on the NBNN.info website. It's got all sorts of great information out there for you, including the NBNN calendar, links to the forums, links to our Discord and other Discords. Actually, it just goes to an area of Discord where
Hi, Chris.
you can choose all that stuff. Welcome, Atos.
Evil's entered the room.
I know. Evil Chris.
Now.
Great disturbance.
I feel my ring of fire shrinking.
Yeah, that ain't the only thing that's shrinking.
It's a real thing.
It shrinks.
They shrink?
Apparently, this game it does.
And List is telling me
Right,
we're going to get
Chris?
spanked now. Hey, don't mess with my milling.
Can you hear me now?
Unless you...
There you go.
Yes,
You're
we can
low
hear you.
volume, though.
But we can always raise that.
Yeah, let me go ahead and bring his volume up there.
All right,
now
what do I
at
need to correct you on?
Whatever you feel like.
All the things.
Your attitude.
No, we were talking about the entering towns at the time when you chimed in. And, of course, we don't know what you were commenting on. Of course, the Ring of Fire being cut down to 5 meters was, of course, news and added to the drop list. So we were talking about that earlier. And we were talking about the entrances into towns, people being be able to enter in the future from different directions.
Oh, I think the one I heard was the vendor thing, but I did also have
that as well.
Open, yeah.
So people taking the vendors, private vendors, taking a commission, which I didn't understand. I guess it's a taxable vendor they were talking about there. Was that correct, Jack?
That's right. Yes, it is.
After the fact.
So taxable vendors currently, anytime you place, it's just like the public vendor. As soon as you place an item on the vendor, you have to pay 10% up front, whether or not the item sells. And so the request was, hey, can you make it so that way it takes it at the sale?
We can't, and pretty much for the reasons that were described there, that players would pile on tons and tons and tons of items.
Well, the vendors already have a hard lock of 100 items anyway.
A small lock as well. Yeah, I mean, we hear complaints daily on the limits on the vendor, but and again, I see people using their tax-free vendors to do this already, putting stuff out there. So I personally think that you should be charged up front, so you don't do it on the public vendors. That makes sense, but on a private vendor, we don't see. I guess we don't see why that makes sense on a private vendor.
I mean, I think it is just purely for there is an advantage to having the tax-free vendor. If there's not, then I mean, why have a tax-free vendor? This is supposed to be not as good as a tax-free vendor.
The taxable and the tax-free vendors, as far as we understand, work the same, except for the fact that they charge you a commission to list your items. There is no time limit that we know of. So even if they paid that commission, they could still store it. Of course, it was just a hefty commission fee to store it at that point, I would guess.
It's just public vendors.
So I guess they're trying to say is, hey, we're poor. We spent 20,000 gold to try and get the vendor so we can make some money, and then we got to spend more money to list our stuff. And the more money we charge, the more money we spend. Why can't the charge be taken out of the rear end of that transaction? I guess is so.
I mean, I think that's just how it works for the other vendor, and it just behaves like the other ones. The advantage is You can group your vendors together if you have multiple vendors, and then also you can put as many items on there as you want to, and you don't have to worry about them being sold to the bank if they don't sell out.
Right.
I mean, it's got some advantages over the public one. The public ones honestly get probably more exposure to things than any.
And of course, if you don't, it doesn't sell within 7 days. It sells to the local vendors for the local price, and it goes poof and gets it out of there as well, which is a big difference. But
that's what makes them better.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we can deal with that. I mean, I've got only one of those taxable vendors just to play with it for my own. I've got.
I have 0.
Yeah, I bought one for giggles and grins. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of regular tax-frees. But, of course, the biggest one we were picking on today was the change to fire. Would you like to comment on that while we got you? Ring of Fire?
And spoiler alert, what's this change to Earth that you also mentioned?
Oh, God, really?
Uh-oh. I don't remember making a change to Earth.
Well,
let's see.
Before you joined us, you said fire and Earth.
Oh, no, one of you guys said that, not me. I'd forgotten I'd made the change. The Ring of Fire change was just because it was already to the point that it was excessive in the placement of it, and we'd actually had some complaints because it gets tougher and tougher to place as it gets bigger. The damage already scales, the duration on it already scales. It felt like we scaled enough with the skill level, and then the actual reason why I made the change was because our new VFX guy said he cannot make a Ring of Fire look good if it scales to the level that it's scaled to. So it scales to about what would be about a skill level of about 50.
So then the next question, of course, begs is how does fire reach get affected, or how do other spells get affected if Ring of Fire is taking out of that mix, or does that not affect your fire's reach? I mean...
Oh, so this is the radius of it? This isn't the range of...
No, this is the radius that we're talking about.
Yeah, because fire reach increases range and radius.
Oh, that's going to upset him.
Well, and it's upsetting. You understand where we're going with this?
It may say that, but it did not have that in the... it did not have the math for the radius increasing with the skill. It does have it for the range.
Oh.
Now, okay. Yeah.
It was not increasing the radius of that one. I can look for the other ones, like, how about Emulation? I don't think it does.
Well, Emulation, you went ahead and cut down, so we don't have that anymore either. Emulation is now the shield of fire, and it doesn't have any depth of range or anything else either anymore since about 2 releases ago.
Yeah, so it does benefit from the fire radius. It's 1.5 radius from the player, and then gets the fire radius bonus.
You still considering making that a shield? Emulation?
And that's my plan, is to make that a fire shield, so when you get hit, when somebody hits you, they take damage.
Gotcha.
Which will be good for a lot of people. And then the big question comes is, does that apply to archers, is the one I'm trying to figure out before I make the switch. Because obviously if an archer gets hit every time he shoots with an arrow, one, that's cool for the fire guy. But imagine PvP where you've got an archer who's fighting somebody with fire, Immolation up, and he, archers live and die by the rapid shots, and multi-shots and all those other things, that he could pretty much blow himself up with that pretty quick.
Now,
so yeah, whether to make that only point-blank range it does damage, or whether it is ranged as well, is the thing I'm still trying to decide before I make that switch.
Now, real quick, speaking of the archer, Richard mentioned something about archers versus skeletons type thing. Whereas if an archer was shooting at a skeleton, it would more likely than not pass through a skeleton. Any comments on whether any of that stuff is actually in? Or is that just something that he was just having some fun with?
So, no, we have a JIRA for that, or I have a JIRA for that. Right now it's not in. The JIRA will be that we are defining armor types to the penetration, slash, and impact. And basically there will just be multipliers.
So back to the basic D&D rules of piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning?
Well, yeah, just whatever armors, each armor type will keep the same damage resistance, all the stats it has, but how much it affects different weapon types will depend on the the type of armor. So like chainmail will be great for slashing and not great for bludgeon, and pretty good for piercing, whereas, you know, plate mail may be pretty good versus all of them. And cloth and leather will probably, be decent versus bludgeon, not great versus piercing, and okay versus slashing. You know, and cloth will probably again be not at all good for bludgeon.
Cloth is wet toilet paper for all of them.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it's cloth. It's like, woo.
Now, of course, while we have Chris, should we delve into a couple other questions?
Bring it on.
We technically only have like 2 minutes.
I'm not worried about that at this point.
Okay.
It's not every day that Chris blesses us with his presence around here. And,
You notice you come in the last 10 minutes, though. Come in the last 10
I
minutes.
know. Okay, so Unity 5.6 upgrade internally in the office. How's that going for you and Justin?
Right now, it looks like it's done, although I just got the word that it is crashing on Mac OS X.
Okay.
And Wood is standing in front of me, and he says yes.
So 5.6 is crashing
on
in
Mac
OS X?
OS X, but is that new today, or is that in the last one too?
No, it was in the last one as well. So
Okay. Bobby, any ideas? Or, pardon me, Undone, any ideas?
Yeah, just
Okay. Yeah, the call stack looked like it was an off-screen skinned mesh thing.
Okay. Then, so for the normal players, does that mean release 43 for Unity 5.6 upgrade? And Vulkan
We
support?
are still planning on getting in for 42.
Okay, still planning for 42. Ooh.
Yeah, we're still hoping to get it in there.
Excellent.
We've got the one issue to deal with on the Mac, but
Okay.
we're hoping we can figure it out. But yeah, that'll mean significant performance improvements and probably a whole new set of different bugs in places where the game crashes. But you'll have all those bugs much faster.
Yeah, I know in the Unity documentation they talked about a 60% improvement in performance without doing any optimizations. Were you seeing
there's
something?
your answer on that.
Well, I mean, that's what they said early on.
That's one of those things that may be true for a graphics benchmark.
Up to 60% improvement, depending on how much you load the system, I'm going to guess is what they were really reaching at.
Well, they probably
if you're
didn't
not doing
test it with
anything on the CPU. But for most of our stuff, we're CPU bound.
Gotcha.
What about the multi-threading? Is that also
it helps? No, it helps,
Okay.
and that's one of those things. We will be dropping support for DirectX 9 this release, which is another thing to improve performance because we can actually use jobs and do some other stuff as soon as we drop DirectX 9 support.
Okay.
And to be fair, we do have a few players who play on DirectX 9, but it's only a handful, although I know at least one of them is kind of a significant player that plays because he has compatibility issues with his video card, and we just need to figure out what his compatibility issues are.
Gotcha.
Well, he's probably using an AMD card.
And then, of course, I've got to ask the question that everybody's been burning question on everybody's mind: the death penalty. Why do we need it?
So-
Why is it so harsh? What's the skinny behind the death penalty?
So that's actually what I got on to talk to you about. But actually, it is 1 o'clock, and I've got a meeting where I've got to go to a meeting at 1.
God.
And Star just came and checked on my window. So I can tell you, so in what game does not have a death penalty that you would like to think of? I mean, that you're trying to compare this to where you don't
we'll
want
throw
a
it
death
right
penalty.
back to UO.
Okay. So what happens when you die in UO?
You lose
have
all
to
your
go
stuff
collect
until
your
you
stuff
do
from your
corpse
body
run.
and you move on. You don't lose any
Okay.
experience.
How much
You don't lose any skills. You don't lose.
Okay. If you play for 10 hours in UO and you die, how much progress have you made?
10 hours worth?
10 hours. So what you say you gained 10 hours worth of experience and advanced a ton of skills?
Well, we got to understand that there was also that was a cap
I'm trying
system.
to get off the air.
Yes.
We're gonna have
I'll be right there.
pick this up later on. But
So
thank you for your
the
time,
short
Chris.
version is we can make this a cliffhanger till Monday, but the short version is you're comparing a game with skill caps where you advance 0% to a game where you do actually advance. There aren't hard skill caps. If you guys want to, I'll go and set your character's flag U to never advance or never lose anything again if you want the UO experience. But I can also talk to you about the actual.
I think I'm playing that way already.
Yeah, well, there's players out there that.
That's what I feel like. I can't gain enough experience.
Well, anyway,
So,
I'll tell you
let's
what.
pick it up on Monday. We'll make it a cliffhanger till Monday.
We will take you up on that offer,
Monday.
and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
today,
you.
Chris.
All right,
We are running overtime as it is, so thank you very much. Go take care of your meetings, and we'll look forward to speaking to you on Monday about that.
Talk to you guys Monday. Bye.
Great. All righty,
we do
folks.
have to thank Chris for stopping in on voice.
Absolutely, as of course,
and answering some questions for us.
You never know what's going to happen around here. That's why you should always stay tuned to NBNN. And of course, with that, again, we're going to just go ahead and wrap it up for the weekend. We're going to leave you. We're already way over. There is no editing today. This is going out just the way it is. So
absolutely, it is.
Excuse me. A couple more minutes. Novi and Lottery is out there for you guys. Go check out the forums for the latest. I'll be putting up some stuff on Twitter in a little while. Don't forget, all sorts of great events happening out in the world today and throughout the weekend. Check out the public calendar on nbnn.info for all that good stuff. As well, don't forget, Barrick's going to be doing a live stream here at 4 p.m. this afternoon. And going to be previewing the Village Inn home, as well as some other things, of course. And again, stay tuned to NBN on Monday. We're going to take up a topic that everybody's willing to sit in and listen on, and we're going to get
hopefully they'll be able to listen.
Interesting questions and answers with Chris, the one and only Atos. So till then, I'm Laz.
I'm Jack.
And we are NBNN. Stay tuned for more news, sports, entertainment, crazy, wild happenings, visits by new developers, and much, much more here on NBNN. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you all on Monday.
Bye. Good. Go visit novialottery.com. novialottery.com. And shroudmarketplace.com.
That's right.